fastest show in sports.
When Hulk Hogan died, I went out, created something on social media. I said, when it comes down to social mores, the media, sports, whatever you want, he was, and he is an icon. He changed things with him and World Wrestling. He was the guy. Everybody around the world knew him. He was as popular at one time as Muhammad Ali. He was known all around the world.
Wow.
No, everybody knew the Hulk.
Everybody knew him in America. He wasn't known internationally like he was not known internationally like Ali.
Well, but I'm saying on the level of Ali. It wasn't like that he was just confined to the United States. He was known. No, I'm not.
Yes.
Let's make this clear. I'm not saying that he was as famous as Muhammad Ali, but I'm saying on that level where certain players, certain individuals, you can go around the world and you can say their name and everybody knows who they are. But the thing we have to stop at is, yes, Hulk Hogan changed the wrestling industry along with Vince McMahon and the WWE, the WWF, whatever it was. I mean, you got people today who worship this guy, who think back when they were kids wearing their Hulkamania shirts and go ahead and eat your vegetables, boys and girls. I mean, they all still talk about it like it's fun. This was not a good guy. At the essence end of his life and career, when you look at it, Mike, here's a guy who basically abused steroids, turned in fellow wrestlers to the WWF when they tried to unionize at the time. So he's basically a scab, an absolute shocking, unbelievable racist. And here he tried to pawn it off by saying, oh, we use the N-word in the locker rooms all the time. I don't care. He made the comment and he used the N-word about a guy that his daughter was dating.
Not a lot of
He's
white.
a racist.
Not a lot of white people use the N-word. That I mean, in a work environment that I think is healthy.
I mean, not that I know. Look, I would probably say that.
Well, I think he did. He did apologize for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's different. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Putting a G. Look. I've been against that word forever, and I feel like I don't care if I'm white or not. I feel like I have a kid. When I had a kid, I suddenly had a seat at the table. I don't like hearing it. I don't like hearing it in GGA form. When I listen to my favorite Biggie songs, I get to the part where it goes, "True pimp, nah." I say neighbor. I mean, I'm just one of these guys. The first and last time I uttered the word and I never got it out of my mouth, I came home at 5 and I said, Dad, I heard a joke. I want to tell it to you. And I literally said, Daniel Boone was a big man, but the bear was bigger. So he ran and I never got the GGER part out of my mouth before my father's hand went across my face as hard as it could. And I didn't know what the heck happened. I'm crying. And he just looks at me and he says, that's the worst thing you can call a black person in this world. No child of mine will say that in our house. And my father didn't hit me very often. I remembered that for the rest of my life. And I don't care. I'm just like, but either way, like, stop. Stop. Don't tell me as a white person that the N-word is okay. And don't tell me
to make an excuse. That's all Hogan did. And the people who followed him, they made the excuse, oh, it's no big deal. And they even had some black wrestlers come to his defense at that time. They were basically set up by McMahon and everybody else to make sure that the brand stays clean. But there's a lot of others who did come in and excoriate him for this as well, for the use of this word. Don't tell me that it's just a casual word. You said it. You mean it. Own it. Which he never really did. He kept trying to apologize for it over and over again. And then, of course, to a certain faction of society, you have him then spitting out Trumpomania forever. He became a huge supporter of Donald Trump. And you can look at it, instead of, not trying to make a political statement here, but one has to be made. If you're sitting on the side of Donald Trump, you go, hey, come on, that's no big deal. That's Hulk Hogan. Yeah. A wife cheater, a steroid abuser, a scab when it comes down to unions, and also a racist. We're okay with him. If you're not a fan of Trump, you come out and go, this was a guy who just basically sold his soul later in life when he was 65, 70 years of age and wanted to get back on the national scene and wanted to get noticed again. Go away. Yeah. but he didn't. Am I wrong on either one
Yeah,
of those ideas?
no, you're not. There's a lot of there is some nuance, like you said before. The guy was an icon, and do we judge people by their worst moments and who they are? Well, that the N word to me was, on tape, in a leaked video, was not Hulk Hogan's worst moment. The worst moment was he kept on supporting a man that didn't care for people of color. It was clear, and many ways, that movement, that movement is more denigrating than any N word, and that's more racist than any N word. But that aside, David Aldridge, ex colleague of mine,
Yeah, I read that.
peripheral friend, I suppose. DC. Everybody knows Da. He's been around for a long time. He wrote a really poignant piece on Facebook about how, as a young black kid, oh, he was all into Trump. I mean, I said Trump. He was all into Hulk, and he was like,
Freudian
he
slip.
told him if he ate his vitamins and he did what he could be anything he wanted to, and he was really like, a young idol of David Aldridge's, and then he learns that those words weren't really for kids of his color. That Hulk Hogan was a different person than he realized in real life, and Terry Bollea, that guy was an outright racist, and he wasn't a very good person. And it's okay. Like, it's the old thing with Michael Jackson. People, like, to this day, like, will say, "Oh, Michael Jackson, I love Michael Jackson too. Oh my God, he probably was a better therapist for me in my childhood than anybody. Like, I used to listen to his music. I used to watch the Jackson 5 cartoons when shit hit the fan at home." And I always wanted to meet him and tell him, like, "Hey, you really, like, whatever you did." And then when you see Leaving Neverland and you realize that kids were sexually abused by Michael Jackson, and that it wasn't just people looking for money, and that there were many, many accusations over the years, and there were many enablers, including his family over the years, you realize, like, I listen to Michael Jackson now up to Thriller. When it was first reported that he was a pedophile, I don't like the music after that. That's how I deal with it. And so I
Well, see, it's
suppose
it's the
people
same
can have
thing, because
their
I'm with
Hulk
you on that,
Hogan.
because
You can have your
I got rid of every single Michael Jackson song.
Thunder Lips memories from Rocky 3 and then just leave it there.
I have a huge library of music, and I'm one of the few guys who still, to this day, I
Yeah.
won't do it on my phone. I have an iPod, and I have one of the last ones made, and I exclusively put my music on this. And I've got months of music here. I took Michael Jackson off. I deleted everything, because every time I hear Michael Jackson now, I think of him abusing little children. Every single time. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what he's singing. Ebony and Ivory with Paul McCartney. Ebony and Ivory and a small child down by my ankle. I mean, that's all I can think of anymore when it comes down to Michael Jackson. And it's been the same thing with
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan for years. I was around when Hulkamania was huge. I found it hysterical, even though I knew it was all fake and it wasn't a real sport. It's all scripted. I knew that when I was
Yeah.
younger, because I remember growing up on Bruno Sammartino in New York City and his wrestling, which was all fake and staged, and we all knew it. But every time
Yeah.
since that tape came out, I hear Hulk Hogan's name and I think of the N-word immediately. I think of it not only the N-word, but the way it was he said it to his daughter, who was dating a black guy at the time, and he wanted to let her know without any hesitation whatsoever that he did not like black people. So that's why I kind of take Hulk Hogan and I shove him off to the side. He's a non-entity to me at all.
You know what his biggest contribution to society might have been, depending on where you lie. So when the leaked video came out of him having sex with a woman that wasn't his wife, and Deadspin ran it. Do you remember this?
Yes, well,
And
Bubba. It was Bubba the Love Sponge in Jacksonville, his buddy, who helped facilitate that.
yeah,
And put that through, and it was Gawker, the parent company that owned Deadspin at the time.
yeah, and it put it on Deadspin. And what happened was, because of the privacy laws, Terry Bollea, aka Hulk, the Hulkster, sued Deadspin, i.e. Gawker Media, which had a lot of websites under its umbrella, and was a huge player in the .com world. Well, Peter Thiel, the big Silicon Valley conservative guy, bankrolled Hulk Hogan's legal defense,
Yes.
and they bankrupted Gawker. Like Deadspin's done. All these places are done. If there's anything left, it's a shadow of himself because Hulk Hogan won a monstrous settlement from them. And basically, basically, it killed careers that probably idiots at Gawker that
Yeah, but
allowed some of the
to be
stuff.
honest, I'm going to go
But
ahead and put
I
that in
had
here while
I had
you
a
say
love
it,
hate
that
relationship with.
it killed Gawker, but it also killed Deadspin, which was an objectionable website to begin with in so many ways. I mean, they were pretty
Yeah,
good when they
right.
started, but then they became nothing more than the sewer-dwelling vermin that basically is out there to scrum around looking
Yeah.
for whatever dirt they can find.
Yeah. Deadspin turned into a piece of crap at the end. It's too bad because it did have something. I had a hate relationship with it. Like
I think everybody
they would
did.
have these great stories on people I love to see get gotcha'd, and then they would have stories about me when I did something stupid. I remember and I remember thinking, okay, you can skewer me all you want. You didn't do the journalist thing and even make a call to ask me about it or get a quote from me. It was just good enough to get me. And the things
Right.
that I got involved with were stupid internet things where I said Ben Roethlisberger was going to get. I tried to pose a social media experiment on Twitter on my radio show. I ended up getting
Right, I remember
suspended
that.
because it was my Washington Post account. But the bottom line is I was just and fine. I fessed up to I could have come up with 18 different better examples of how to show people that journalism is slipshod now. But the bottom line is, all you do is call me. All you do is call me, and I could have said, "Yeah, I was stupid," or "Screw you." I was trying to prove a point. But like they had escaped the basic journalism principle of just calling a frickin' person.
That's all, folks.